Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down the Nhl Dfs slate for Thursday, February 16th. We got ourselves an 8-game slate here tonight, where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays, and then we'll wrap up today's video talking a little prize picks. With that being said, let's dive into my spreadsheet here. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals, where you can see 4 of these games are coming in with an implied total of 6.5 goals, 3 games coming in at 6 goals even, and then this game between the Bruins and Predators coming in at 5.5. And then take a look down here at the Vegas odds, where you can see each team who's favored to win tonight. And then here's a schedule update for the remainder of the week. Video today, video tomorrow on Friday, but nothing for this weekend. Watching a little college hockey. Actually got my hometown Duluth, Minnesota team here in Denver. Really looking forward to that. Always a great rivalry between those two teams. And then Monday, we have President's Day. The games start at 11 a.m. Mountain Time for me, so very unlikely I'm going to have a video out for that Monday slate, but we'll be back at it on Tuesday. With that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight. And honestly, I tried to find a different line to highlight here on this 8-game slate, but kept seeing myself go back to this first line here for the Winnipeg Jets. We got Dubois centering Connor and Perfetti. And I talked about this the other day. Really, the top 2 lines for the Jets are in play, and a great matchup here against the Columbus Blue Jackets. This Blue Jackets team has struggled defensively all year long, allowing 3.81 goals per game, the 3rd most in the NHL. And their penalty kill has not been very good either, hitting at just a 76.7% rate. Plus, we always got the Pierre-Luc Dubois revenge narrative here. I understand it's been a few years since he played in Columbus. Completely different head coach when he was playing with John Tortorella, but you can always bet he's got a little extra chip on his shoulder when he plays his former team. And then another line stack I like here tonight is that first line for the Calgary Flames. We got Lindholm centering Dubé and Toffoli. Now, I know I just mentioned with that Winnipeg Jets team, I really believe that we can play any one of the top 2 lines. If you wanted to go with Scheifele centering Wheeler and Ehlers, absolutely think that's a good play here tonight. And I'm not trying to go with that narrative here on this slate, but I really believe the top 3 lines for the Calgary Flames are in play in this matchup against Detroit at home. If you wanted to go with the second line of Kadri centering Peltier and Huberdeau, no problem with that. Or even the 3rd line if you want to get a little more contrarian and cheaper, you got Backlund centering Mangiapane and Coleman. This first line here, though, has been very noticeable since the All-Star break. In 4 games, they've combined for 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points, and all 3 of these guys are currently playing up on the #1 power play right now. And I do like the matchup against Detroit tonight, who are not only playing on back-to-back nights on the road, but that game last night against the Oilers went into a shootout. They ultimately ended up winning that game 5-4, but did give up 45 shots on net to the Edmonton Oilers. Now, folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. I also got that Discord channel that I'm running too, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. We got a great group of people in there that we're growing, talking some hockey and talking some prize picks. And for those of you who are on Twitter, I am occasionally posting some NHL bets there as well, if you want to give me a follow. Alright, now diving into some of my favorite individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. First guy I got there is Jack Eichel of the Vegas Golden Knights. Good matchup at home here tonight against the San Jose Sharks, who struggled defensively all year long, allowing 3.67 goals per game, the 4th most in the NHL. Plus, we got all the trade rumors with the Sharks right now. Erik Karlsson and Timo Meier, their top 2 players, so you can bet they're kind of taken each and every day with a grain of salt because they could be traded at any given time. Now, Vegas has done a very good job of spreading out their forward talent throughout their top 3 lines, especially with Mark Stone on the shelf right now. But I kind of like this first line with Eichel and Marchessault, and I understand their numbers haven't been fantastic as of late, but I do like the way they've played here since the All-Star break. You can see in those 3 games, Eichel's racked up 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, and 11 shots on net. I then got Sebastian Aho there of the Carolina Hurricanes, and I'm actually going to highlight Teuvo Teravainen at the same time. time. Like doing a little mini stack with those two guys up on the first line and number 1 power play, and even mixing in Brady Shea as a defenseman at $4,400, considering he's currently up on the number 1 power play. I think that makes for a nice 3-man stack at home here against the Montreal Canadiens, a team that's really struggled defensively themselves this year, having allowed 3.59 goals per game, the 7th most in the NHL, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 73.4% rate. That is the 4th worst penalty kill in the NHL, and if we take a look at Aho and Teravainen's numbers here over their last 10 games, they're playing some really solid hockey, having combined for 13 goals, 6 assists. Aho's got 10 of those goals himself. Really like the way that he's been shooting the puck. Teravainen, 22 shots on net. He could definitely step up his game there, but I'm certainly not complaining about that either. Next, I got Brad Marchand there of the Boston Bruins. Now, the Bruins are a team to keep an eye on here tonight. I do believe that Jake DeBrusk is going to be back, and I suspect he'll be back up on that first line with Bergeron and Marchand. Look, I don't mind that as a line stack, but being that DeBrusk is just returning from IR, I'm not in love with it necessarily. However, if we get word that DeBrusk is going to play on a different line and Pasternak remains on that first line with Bergeron and Marchand, I absolutely like that as a line stack, especially with all 3 of those guys playing up on the number 1 power play. And for what it's worth, Bergeron and Marchand both $5,900 tonight, the cheapest they've been all year long. And Marshy's got 46 points in 45 games, and I think this is a sneaky matchup to target here. I know Nashville can play well at home, largely due to their goalie play with UC Saros, who can steal games, but this is a team that's given up the 4th most expected goals per 60 minutes this year. The 3 teams above them are the Columbus Blue Jackets, Montreal Canadiens, and Anaheim Ducks. 3 teams we've been targeting and picking on all year long. And then I got Jared McCann there of the Seattle Kraken, sitting in a good matchup here tonight at home against the Philadelphia Flyers. And yes, the Flyers have actually played pretty solid defensively here as of late, actually gotten some pretty good goaltending out of Carter Hart, but still a team that I'm not really afraid of top to bottom. They've allowed the 7th most expected goals per 60 this year, and Jared McCann has definitely found the back of the net at a pretty consistent rate. 25 goals in 51 games this year, leads the team actually by 7. The next closest, actually by 8, the next closest is Matty Beniers at 17. McCann's playing up on the first line in number 1 power play right now, has really just shown some solid upside this year. Definitely someone who can get you 20, 25 plus DraftKings points. Now, moving over here to the defensemen, and there are quite a few top-tier defensemen on this slate, and considering some of the value we have at the forward position tonight, we can pay up for some of these defensemen. I kind of like the 4 to low 6K range here tonight for this position, and Shea Theodore and Josh Morrissey were the top guys that I like to target. We got Shea Theodore, you could do a little mini stack with Jack Eichel, both up on the number 1 power play. Again, a good matchup at home against the San Jose Sharks. Josh Morrissey has been fantastic since the All-Star break and really been great all year long. You could stack him up with any one of those guys that I highlighted earlier, and primarily makes sense to stack him up with Dubois and Connor, again, targeting that number 1 power play in a good matchup against Columbus. Noah Hanifin, keep an eye on Rasmus Andersson tonight. He did practice yesterday, but he rotated with the 4th defensive pair. That makes me believe that he's not going to suit up here tonight, which means Hanifin will once again be up on that number 1 power play. Again, I like that matchup against Detroit, playing on back-to-back nights on the road. And then Brady Shea there, fantastic matchup against Montreal. And I talked about that 3-man stack earlier with him, Teravainen, and Sebastian Aho. But don't forget, I got some honorable mentions here as well. Like I said, I really kind of like the 4 to low 6K range. Got a few guys there, though, in the 3K range, one in the 2K range. Uyghur here at 4.3K I think is also interesting for Calgary. Again, assuming that Rasmus Andersson is out tonight. And then I got a couple of goaltenders there looking to pay up or spend up at this position in general. We got some heavy favorites on the money line tonight, so generally speaking, that's a good place to start. I actually kind of like the Boston Bruins in general here tonight, and honestly, on the other side of that game, UC Saros, I believe, is $7,100. You know, I just talked about it. He can definitely steal games for the Nashville Predators. I don't mind that as a tournament play. play. But Linus Ullmark has been the best goaltender in the NHL this year. I'll continue to play him until he slumps, if that's even going to happen, considering how good Boston is. He's got a 27-4-1 record, goals allowed average of 1.90, and a save percentage of .937, just fantastic numbers there, averaging close to 18 DraftKings points per game. And then Sergei Bobrovsky of the Florida Panthers has been fantastic in 4 starts since the All-Star break, going 3-1-0 actually. That is not 3-1-1. Come on, Griff. 3-1-0 in those 4 starts with a goals allowed average of 1.75 and a save percentage of .956. Ridiculous numbers there. And he's hit 20-plus DraftKings points in all 4 of those games, even in the game that he lost. And as always, going to wrap up the spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. First guy I got there is Pavel Zacha of the Boston Bruins, who currently plays on the second line in number 2 power play. He's played solid here as of late, really shown some nice upside in his past 10 games, having scored 5 goals and 4 assists, 9 points. And I'll like Zacha even more here tonight if Pastrnak is back down on the second line with him and Krejci. Next is Ido Luostarinen there of the Florida Panthers. With Sam Bennett likely out here tonight, we should see Luostarinen up on the second line in number 2 power play. And he's played well since the All-Star break, having scored 3 goals and 2 assists, 5 points in 5 games. And then Phil Kessel there of the Vegas Golden Knights, currently playing on the third line in number 2 power play, has started to find his game here as of late. I know he's kind of been up and down this year, but he's racked up 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points in his past 5 games, hitting 14.5 plus DraftKings points in 4 of those 5 games. And then to wrap up this video here, want to talk a little prize picks with you guys. Now, to be very clear, we're talking prize picks here. I had someone complaining in the comments yesterday that I didn't give picks on my video. Look, you're obviously new here. I understand that, so we'll give you a little break, but I don't even have the full set of picks to look at as I record this morning. There's not even anything available for the goaltenders, so sure, I could go through the limited options that we have and give you picks on this video, but that really doesn't make sense to me. Why would I not wait for the rest of the picks to come out, do my research on the entire slate, and then give you my final picks like I've done all year long and really did all of last year? That's what we're going to do here today. So if you're new to this video, yes, we're talking prize picks here, but really, this is for me to just kind of go over it, glance over it, I suppose, and then let you know my final picks will be coming today in a comment below on this video. I'll pin that comment as well, and I post these in my Discord channel too, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. Now, if you have not signed up for prize picks yet and understand that my picks are coming later on here today, I got a promo code that you should definitely take advantage of for starters when you're signing up. When you're signing up, use my promo code GRIFF. GRIFF, and Prize Picks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Now, you don't have to put $100 in either. If you want to put in $50, they'll match $50. You want to put in $20, they'll match that $20. And again, we'll match anything up to $100 as long as you're using my promo code GRIFF. GRIFF, upon signing up. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 8-game slate. In the meantime, I'm out of here.